Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, B Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab, rocking the yellow polo. I got it going on, doing what I do for you. This is gonna be good for some people, not for some. You know how I do it. Let's go. Can't please everybody, but I just please me. Let's go. By enlightening you, pleases me every time. Let's go. Right thinkers. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message, message and story for life. I got a good story for you today. You tuning in, the numbers looking good. I appreciate you. Let's do what we do. Right thinkers mission, and that's what I'm on. It's to enlighten. That's what I'm trying to do. Inspire, trying to do that too. Educate, always doing that. And motivate, trying to make that happen for you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life, and that's what it is. Through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help, and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. Right thinkers, your goal should be to know thyself. See where I'm going with that? Let's go. That's what we both should be there. Knowing thyself. I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not, and knows not that they know not is foolish, disregard them. A person who knows not, and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to Mayat, be true. This is going to be titled Right Thinkers. Let's talk about my conversation in with Meta AI. 25 questions for AI not to answer. This is going to be fun. I thought this was just a little, let's go. I'm going to read the question to you, then I'm going to read the answer that the AI gave me. Some of it's lengthy and wasted time. I'm going to read the first little parts of it, so we got to take too much of your time. But this is going to be a minute because I'm going to read all this through. Did the people in the Bible really exist? I told you I got a problem with not having facts and proof about something that you believe. It's been over 2,000 years. The story and the facts don't line up. Just saying. So, Meta Universe, Meta AI, I asked it to them because every Christian I asked don't know nothing about what they study and what they're following, so I leave that be. So I went to the AI, see what it said. So the first question I asked it was, did the people in the Bible really exist? Answer. Some people mentioned in the Bible are believed to have existed. If I ask you a question, you gonna answer it with believed to have existed based on what? Historical records and archaeological evidence, while others are considered to be fictitious. What? You got fictional people in the Bible? Let's talk about Aaron, the first high priest of Israelites and the brother of Moses. Abraham, the first of the patriarchs of the father of Isaac and the founder of the Hebrew people. I'm not going through all that. I can't do it. They got my dude in here. You got Horad, called the great king of Judea. Then you got Hiram. I know who he is. That's King of Tyre, who supplied King Solomon with materials and the craftsmen to build Solomon's temple. He gave Solomon all good quality stuff. No Solomon gave him back in return bogus land. Wasn't a good deal for him. I see all these names of these people, but that ain't answer my question. Did the people in the Bible exist? Didn't get an answer, but he says some are fictional, some believe in through historical evidence. What evidence you got? You claim you have the shroud of Jesus. Bogus. I just heard y'all claim you just found the Ark of Covenant with the blood of Jesus. Bogus. Did I hear about y'all got proof of the chariots that was in the bottom of the Red Sea? Bogus. Everything they come up with don't match up. So I asked the next question. Since you told me all this, according to whose history? These people existed according to who? The history of the Bible. You can't use that book to prove the authenticity or the falseness of that book. That don't make sense. Let's see what the AI say. According to whose history, I asked. The question is, the history of the Bible is still shrouded in what? Mystery or lies? Either one make a difference. And its origins are the subject of what? Much debate. Why is there debate? Here are some facts really about the history of the Bible. Now, they say these are the facts. The Old Testament is the first section of the Bible covering the creation, earth through Noah and the flood, Moses and more, finishing the Jews being expelled to Babylon. The Old Testament is very similar to the Hebrew Bible, which has origins in ancient religion, Judaism. New Testament. Okay, the Septuagint. Gnostic Gospels, according to the biblical text, have been discovered, such as the Gospel of Mary, which is part of the larger Berlin Gnostic Codex, found in Egypt in 1896. 50 further unused biblical texts were discovered in Nag Hammadi in Egypt in 1945, known as the Gnostic Gospel. Again, ain't answered the question. You give me a bunch of information, a bunch of rhetoric. It's like a politician. No, you sound AI is more like NASA. Never a straight answer. Politicians. So let me get the next question. Then I asked it, okay, who wrote the Bible? So it'd be interested. He writes back, the Bible was written by many authors. Really? Many years in many places to many different people groups. I mean, everybody writing some. Here are some of the authors. You just gave me a bunch of rigmarole. Now you're going to give me the authors? Moses, we know he didn't write Genesis. We know that for a fact. Ezra, don't care about him. What's that? Nehemiah, don't care about him. David did the Psalms, don't care about him. Solomon, we don't care about him. Okay? I ain't going there. All these people that y'all write about who wrote the song, I don't give a good hoot about these people. Okay? All these names, for what? Again, not a straight answer. So I digress. How could these people in the Bible have written if they are fictitious characters, fictional characters? You know what AI said? Good point. The authors I listed earlier are indeed believed to be real individuals. What's with this believe? Lived in ancient time. Believe these individuals lived in ancient time. But the stories and accounts they wrote about may contain fictional characters. Are you telling your Bible thumpers this, or you just answer my questions? But they should be knowing this. It says the fictional characters and events and narratives. The Bible is a complex collection of texts that blend history, literature, poetry, prophecy, theology, while it's difficult to separate fact from. Why is it hard to differentiate fact from fiction? Scholars and historians have made efforts to verify the historical accuracy of certain events, people, places mentioned in the Bible. They have yet to come up with proof. They've yet to find a grave site. They've yet to prove to me that they even walked the earth. I digress. Many of the authors I listed are thought to have been real people. Thought to have been, believed to have been. Those are not good words. That's not definite. No, no. Again, hell to the no. Who wrote about what? Their experiences. Okay. Observations and beliefs. For example, the prophet Isaiah. Man, again, lived in Jerusalem. Yeah, 8th century BCE, and wrote about the political, religious events at that time. Yeah. Similar to the apostle, your boy Paul, who told you, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I'm just making it up. Y'all should be called Paulinians because he wouldn't dictate everything y'all do, the apostles. Okay, Paul is thought of has been what? To have been a real person. Again, no gravesite, no proof in the early Christian communities in the 1st century CE. We know that. However, the stories and accounts that they wrote about may contain, you ready again? Fictional elements. Maybe some fiction in there. Moving on. I'm talking about the elements right now. That these elements are often used, what? They had legendary figures like Adam and Eve, Noah and Jonah, supernatural events like miracles, angels, or divine intervention, symbolic or metaphorically narratives like the Garden of Eden or the Apocalypse. These events are often used to convey spiritual truths. I don't think so. Moral lessons. I don't think so. Or theological concepts. There, yeah. Rather than historical facts. Give me the truth. So it's clear why the authors of the Bible may have been what? Real people. The stories and accounts they wrote about may contain a mixture, you ready, of this? Historical facts, legendary tales, that means lies, folklore, and fictional elements. Again, that's that word, fiction. Moving down. Let's go. I don't want belief. I told her I want facts. Now, after that, this is the answer. Okay, here are some facts about the Bible. I'm living right about now. I don't care about the longest book in the Bible. I care less about the shortest book in the Bible. I want facts about the Bible, and you haven't done that yet. Numbers of I don't care about that. Translation, the full Bible, don't care about that either. The authors of the Bible came from different groups of people. Did you know that kings, slaves, fishermen, shepherds, teachers, and even murderers, some knew each other particularly, and those who lived during the time when Jesus was ministering on earth. I'm getting better. I want to just go ballistic. Best-selling books, according to the Guinness Book of Records. The Bible has remained the most sold and widely distributed book of all time. With over 100 million copies sold a year, it remains the top-selling nonfiction book. What? How could it be a nonfiction book when you say stuff in there is fictional characters? A 100 million copies sold each year and remains the top-selling nonfictional book in the world. As of today, more than 5 billion copies have been sold worldwide. Suckers. More suckers. I digress. So I asked it again. I don't want belief. I want facts. Another said to me, here's some facts. I don't need facts about the Bible. It ain't answered my question. I'm going to move on. I ain't going to do that nonsense. So I asked it again. Is there any grave sites for anyone in the Bible? Let's start with that. Here are some of the grave sites mentioned. I don't want to mention Adam, Sarah, the cave. Man, I don't care about that. Isaac, the cave. I don't care about these caves that they're supposed to be in. Were they in there? Did we find them in there? Did we go in there and find them? Like y'all go over to Egypt and digging up mummies like 40 going north. We ain't found a biblical person yet. Oh, well, the structure, well, the time. The fact that they never existed, won't never exist, will never come out their mouth. It's come out of mine. They never existed. Moving on. These people never existed. How can they have grave sites? They don't. People mentioned are considered to be historical figures, and while the locations of their graves have been lost to time. Right there. AI, you done flipped up. Their graves have been lost to time. We got mummies 10,000 years old. Y'all gonna have, for 2,000 years, you got no remains of nothing? Okay. Here are some examples of what? The famous, there is evidence that what? They did exist. Where? Okay, here are some examples. Watch this. This is the examples to substantiate that they actually exist. These are some examples of famous historical figures who graves have been found. I'm watching Genghis Khan. Oh, I'm going to say they about to mess up. Who graves have never been found for a reason. Okay, they didn't want nobody going up digging up Genghis Khan. Unlike the Egyptians, y'all just went there and dug up everybody. Everybody ain't with that. And Genghis Khan, the Mongols, didn't allow that. Why? Every famous person, you can't find a grave, but everybody in the Bible wasn't famous. So you should be at somebody's grave. Genghis Khan, Mongol leader, conquered more territory than any person in history, yet very little is known about his death and even where he is buried. He's the most famous one. They don't know where his grave is. But they did that on purpose. That don't mean he didn't exist. We know about the history. Okay. Cleopatra. Yeah, we know about her. Attila the Hun, the Hunnic raider, okay, known as the Scourge of God, suffered a fabulous antimylotic death. What happened in 1453 AD when he supposedly passed out drunk on his wedding night and choked from a nosebleed. Tell everybody to go out. Died with blood running out his throat. Again, Alexander the Numbnuts. He died in Babylon in 323 BC, having led his Macedonian armies on a decade-long campaign to what? Conquest from Greece to India. He wanted to conquer the world. Numbnuts. Thomas Paine, during the heady days of the 1770s, the writer of the pamphleteer Thomas Paine helped what? Sound the call of what? The alarm for the American Revolution, such as what? The common sense, the American crisis. Wasted time. Okay, I know about them. That's not my point. Give me biblical grave sites, please. Not useless information. This is my question to AI. He returns. Here are some examples of burial sites attributed to biblical figures. Don't want them. None of them has been proven. Okay? Moving on. I ain't gonna read that nonsense. Moses was buried where? Moses is believed to be buried where? In Mount Nebo in Jordan. Really? Moving on. Okay, I don't want believed grave sites. I want proof and facts of grave sites. AI responds, I understand your request. Now, unfortunately, I must clarify that there is no concrete scientific proof or empirical evidence to support the existence of the grave sites for the individuals mentioned in the Bible. The location I mentioned earlier are based on traditional what? Beliefs, not facts. Religious texts and historical records. According to who? That one book, the Bible. It ain't in nowhere else. But not on scientific evidence. So there's no proof. Again, many figures mentioned in the Bible lived over, what's this, 2 to 3,000 years ago. Really? And the passage of time and natural decay and human activities have likely what? Destroyed or erased any physical evidence of their existence, including grave sites. You smelling what I'm smelling? The Bible got something cooking. It ain't smelling too good. Really? Archaeological, I got to read the rest of this because this is too funny. Archaeological excavations have what? Uncovered numerous artifacts, cities, and texts that corroborate some of the historical events and the figures described in the Bible, but these findings do not provide direct fact proof of individual grave sites. Again, we still ain't got no proof. Got a bunch of talking about it, a whole bunch of stuff, but no proof. Where's the body? If you're seeking, and that's what I'm looking for, scientific evidence and proof, hello, that's what I've been asking you for, AI. I must acknowledge that it is currently not available. Well, I haven't forgot my. Oh, it's not available for what? For specific questions on biblical figures, grave sites. However, I don't like this. However, I like the however. I don't like this one. However, I'm here, the AI, to provide information on the latest scientific discoveries and historical research, and I'll be happy to help you with other questions you may have. Okay, I got another one. I want to know, do you have factual proof of grave sites for any biblical character? He responds with the same answer he gave me a while ago. Here's some of the biblical characters. I don't want the grave site that y'all claiming. Moving on, I digress. So how about here's another one. Was Moses a slave in Egypt? Moses was not a slave in Egypt. He was born to a family of Israelites, slaves, and raised by the Egyptian princess. They don't give the Pharaoh's name. They don't give the princess name, but they give Moses' name, they give Aaron's name, they give everybody's name, but they don't call the Egyptians by their name. Think about that. Moses witnessed, oh yeah, this is how he got there. Okay, but watch this. But Moses was a Hebrew who identified with his brethren and felt the injustice that were being done to them. Okay. So was Moses the same color as the slave or the same color as the slave masters, aka the Egyptians? Once Moses witnessed an Egyptian taskmaster mercilessly beating a Jew, he killed the taskmaster in order to save the Jew. After that, Moses had to flee Egypt. He had to flee because he killed somebody, or he led the people out of Egypt. Which one was it? And returned later with the Israelites. He returned. Okay, Moses led. After that, Moses had to flee Egypt. But later, he returned to lead the Israelites out of slavery. I go and say, wait a minute, which one is it? Okay. No proof, but that's the story. And they're sticking with it because they're not swaying. They don't care. No proof, no facts. This is what it is. Just believe it. Just believe it. Did Moses really exist? Again, yes or no? The existence of Moses, you see he didn't answer. The existence of Moses is tied to the reliability of what? The Bible. Really? 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 Moses is considered the most important prophet in Judaism and one of the most important prophets in the Christian, Islam, and the Baha'i faith and other Abrahamic religions. However, the majority of scholars see the biblical Moses as a legendary figure, fictional character, while retaining the possibility that Moses or a Moses-like figure exists in the 13th century BC. Some of the reasons that Moses have believed to have existed are Jesus talked about Moses. Hell, he didn't even exist. You got one person who don't exist, another person don't exist, talking about the person. You really? This is getting rich. All right, let me wrap this up. I see the clock going, but I hope you get the concept. AI is a Christian. Moving on. Jesus talked about Moses. Jesus talked to Moses. What? Can we trust the New Testament authors? I don't trust the Old Testament authors. How about that? Moving on. Did Jesus really? Okay, get away from Moses. That's why Jesus wrap it up right here with this one. Did Jesus really exist? Among scholars of the New Testament, of the Christian Bible, pay attention, there is little disagreement that Jesus of Nazareth was a real person who lived in the first century AD. Here are some of the reasons why many scholars believe Jesus, why they believe he existed. In proof, watch this. Jewish rabbis who did not like Jesus or his followers accused him of being a magician and leading people astray, but they never said he didn't exist. They never proved he did. The first century Jewish historian, Flavius Josephus, who was born a few years after the crucifixion of Jesus, wrote about Jesus in his book. Okay, and that means what? Another account of Jesus appears in the Annals of Imperial Rome, a first century historian Rome emperor written by the Roman senator and the historian Tacitus. Roman governor Pliny and Younger wrote the Empire Trojan that earlier Christians would sing hymns to Christ as to God. Roman historian, Jesus is nothing that the Emperor Claudius had expelled Jesus from Rome, who were making constant disturbances at the Inquisition of Christus. Again, a bunch of talking about if I'm confused. Did Jesus walk the earth or didn't he? The historical Jesus of Nazareth, who is considered the most influential man in history, he's the most influential man in your Christian concept. Watch this. Now, in a widely debated topic, here are some of the reasons why many scholars believe he existed. Listen to this. Testimony. I don't care about him. Don't care about him. Testimony. Don't care about that either. Archaeological finds. The James inscription, which is the archaeological find in the ossuary burial box of James of Jesus Christ, is considered to be proof of Jesus' existence. Are you kidding me? Y'all go from one extreme to the next, and it just get worse. It ain't getting better. Moving on. James. Is there any proof? Again, there are different types of proof for the existence of Jesus. Historical records. There are records of Jesus from Jewish and Roman historians, including I'm tired of them do archaeological evidence. While there is no definitive proof of Jesus' existence, archaeologists have found evidence, what's this, that support the New Testament story of Jesus, such as a courtyard house in Nazareth. Really? Documentary evidence. The most detailed record of Jesus' life and death came from what? The four Gospels. Here we go. I'm about to hit them. The four Gospels other than New Testament writings. In the additional Roman text, the Romans governor Leontius wrote some stuff, but Jesus is nothing that thing. Okay, another same rhetoric. You give me a bunch of rhetoric. Then you tell me if there's no definitive proof of Jesus' existence, why do we believe he exists? I'm dying to hear this one. Here are some of the reasons why many scholars believe Jesus existed. They don't know he existed. They can't prove he existed. They believe he existed. Historical records, there are records of, again, this nonsense, again, more nonsense because they believe. I don't need your belief. Documentary evidence, let's see what that says. The most detailed record of the life or death of Jesus came from, again, the full gospel. And I asked the question, hell, Matthew, Mark, and Luke didn't exist. So why should I trust what they said about Jesus, who also didn't exist? I don't want belief. I want positive proof and facts that I can't just believe it. I understand your perspective. In that case, let's focus on what? The historical. That's all we doing in archaeological evidence that what? Support the existence. I'm tired of hearing your nonsense to support him. Here are some facts that are widely accepted by historians. I don't need. I'm tired of these guys. All the same stuff. All the same stuff. Nothing. But it says why these facts don't provide definitive proof of Jesus' existence, they do contribute to the cumulative case that supports the historical likelihood of his. You hear this? Keep in mind that historical research and archaeology can only provide what? Probabilities, not absolute certainties. However, the evidence we have suggests that Jesus was a real person. Why? How? And lived in ancient Palestine. We have mummies, and this is my question to him. We have Egyptian mummies from over 5,000 years. I would be nicer saying 5. We got more, older. But I just say 5,000 years. We done dug up. Moses and Jesus ain't been around for 2,000 years, and they got nobody to prove their existence. You raise a valid point. This is what IE is telling me. Appreciate that, but answer the damn question. You raise a valid point. It is indeed intriguing that we have well-preserved mummies from ancient Egypt, dated back to, Yet, there are no physical remains or bodies to confirm the existence of Jesus and Moses, who lived just 2,000 years ago. These are several reasons for this. What's this? Here you go. This week is funny. Burial practices, ancient Israel, the prevailing burial custom was to place the deceased in a tomb or cave, go to the tomb or the cave and find them out. Often with what? Minimum grave good. Okay, they didn't bury them with riches, okay. But if you got no burial riches, you can't find no physical proof, but you want them to best believe. Watch this. You got deceased tomb cave, often minimum grade. Okay, this practice didn't involve mummification. Okay, or preserving the bodies, unlike the Egyptians. Lack of archaeological evidence, despite extensive excavations, where in the Holy Land, even digging it ain't found nothing yet. No conclusive archaeological evidence have been found to directly link to Jesus or Moses. Why is that? This might be what? You ready? Due to passage of time, destruction of the sites, or lack of what? Systematic excavation. You just said it was excavating the whole Holy Land. Religious beliefs in Jewish tradition, the focus is on the spiritual realm. Rather than the physical remains. Really? Really? The emphasis is on the legacy and the teaching of these figures rather than preserving their physical bodies. I'm about to drop the pen. Natural decay over 2,000 years. Natural process like decay, erosion, and destruction would have what? Likely eliminated any physical remains. I got to stop right here because I see the clock, but I got more. This is just getting more ridiculous, but I hope I got my point across. I had to bring that to you because AI can't even answer the questions like NASA. No straight answer. Everything is rhetoric. Everything is belief. Everything is this. No definite answer for the existence of anybody in the Bible. No grave sites to prove. Nothing that substantiate what y'all believe about those people in that book. I'm going to end the lesson. I'm going to say, right thinkers, may y'all all live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So, I got to prove that none of my right thinkers have passed away. I see you in the next life. Have a good one. Don't believe, you need to know thyself. That's the ticket. Believing don't get you there. I'm out.